All right, The Killer is the number one watched movie on Netflix this weekend, and I'm glad. I've been looking forward to this one. Michael Fassbender assassin film, hell yes, right? Um, I'm seeing a lot of negativity from critics. People are saying it's boring. Well, let's see here. Is it as action packed as a John Wick? No. Is it as fast as a Born Identity? No. It's understated. That's for sure. It's absolutely understated, but I think that is its charm. I think this is a wonderful blend of both of those films with a little bit of Dexter thrown in for good measure. Let me tell you how. So, it's got the globe-trotting, country hopping aspect of the Born Identity, which is fantastic. That's what you want in an assassin film, international assassin film. You want someone going to different cities, different countries, fast paced. From this country to that country, hopping planes, hopping trains. That's what you want. And that is what you get with this film. Like I said, it's way more understated. Is he rushing through the streets, getting into car chases? No. But it's so much more realistic, if that's the correct word. I imagine if international assassins operate in this way, through conglomerates and such, it would look much more like this than it would like Born Supremacy or John Wick. Now, the way that it's like John Wick, you got the revenge story, right? He's out for revenge. He's out to pin down people who did something to him, who did him wrong, and he's on a mission to right this wrong. And he's going to take everybody out. And he's as cold-blooded, maybe more cold-blooded and ruthless than John Wick. I love this character. And I recently found out this is based on a comic book series, which it's like, of course. Now I get why I like it so much. I love that it had chapters, and each chapter took place in a different location and had a different character he was going after. Very much reminded me of and how a comic book plays out. As I said, Michael Fassbender, fantastic in this. I love Michael Fassbender, and my friend, you nailed the American accent in this one. Just like a lot of Americans don't really get the British accent, a lot of British actors don't quite nail the American accent, especially when there's different dialects, different accents here within the United States. Fassbender nailed it. Like I didn't hear anything that led on that he was not American in narrating this. But yes, so very, very much like an understated John Wick, an understated Jason Bourne, and also very much had a bit of Dexter, as I said before. The way he narrates and repeats the same rules and strategies over and over, this code that he lives by throughout the film, and you're always waiting, right? You're always waiting throughout this film for him to break his code. Like, just like you were in Dexter. It's like, is he ever going to break this code? Is he going to meet someone that he takes pity on, that he shows empathy towards? That was one of his rules, like, do not show empathy. The whole time. And that's kind of like the puzzle you're trying to put together. Throughout this film, you're like wondering if and or when is he going to break the code? And when he breaks the code, if he breaks the code, is that going to get him killed? Proving his code of conduct correct, rational, reasonable, right? I love how cold, calculated he is, how he kills, like, without remorse, it seems. But also, and this kind of puzzles me a little bit, has a romantic relationship in the film. It doesn't play out throughout the story, which I love. It's really just about him as an assassin. It really is. And that's why I think some people might be bored with it. For me, though, I love just delving into that psyche and that very much solitary confinement feel, like he's in his head, he's by himself, and that is an assassin's life. Like, he has this life this base of operations kind of, with a woman that he's dating in Santo Domingo. But we don't even really see that world. We don't see, the only time we see it is when he goes down there to try to stop what ends up happening from happening, causing him to go on this spree of, I don't know if you call it revenge, but he's kind of trying to make sure no one comes after him again and none of the people he cares about gets hurt again. So it's kind of like, how is this possible that he has these feelings in this relationship with this woman, but at the same time is so cold and calculated about living and dying, life and death in general? I don't know. I mean, that's something I guess assassins have to square with themselves. But I loved that it was just mainly just him alone throughout this film, narrating the film, and most of the narration is repetitive. It's repetitive. It's like how his mind is working. He's constantly reminding himself to stick to this code that he's come up with, to not get caught, to not get killed, and to get the job done. And that's it. I don't know how many times he repeats the same lines, but I love that he does. And that's what leads you to believe, like, oh no, is he going to break it at any time? And spoilers, he does not. He does not break the code. That was my favorite part, because the obvious choice is like something's going to happen. There's going to be a kid in the way, or a woman that he feels sorry for, or something, to where he ends up not going by his code and it ends up getting him hurt or killed or captured or what have you. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It plays out exactly as planned. And while that may seem expected, in this version of events, it's kind of unexpected. You don't expect the movie to go that way, especially a dark and kind of gritty, sinister, like assassin film like this. You assume that he's going to meet his fate as well, right? But he doesn't, and I love it, and I love that the ending is just so subtle. The action sequences that are in it, it's like I said, it's not packed full. It's not a John Wick. There's not a lot of gunfire and fighting, but there are some great hand-to-hand combat scenes and some great face-to-face scenes. Not a lot of dialogue, though, between characters in this. Like I said, most of it takes place in his head. That's why I like this thing, man. It's different than most like spy thriller type, assassin, espionage type films in that way. Not a lot of back and forth. Not a lot of like, this is what's going to happen, and people explaining themselves. And no, it's very straight to the point. It's very much mostly in his head. You're just traveling along with him. I also like that you never see any other perspective. You're always with him from the beginning of the film to the end. You never go and see what's going on with this guy or this, this other character or this. It never jumps around like that. You're following him. It's like you are in his world. I love it. I love this film. And if you haven't seen it, I'd say go check it out. I hope I didn't ruin it for you. I personally think it's great. But like I said, a lot of people say it's boring. I say it's an understated and underappreciated film. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Or if you're listening in podcast form, let me hit me up on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok, any of those, at Real Brett Scott. And if you like this sort of thing where I talk entertainment, pop culture, movies, TV shows, comic books, stuff like that, then please stick around and subscribe to the channel, or favorite or follow the Daily BS podcast. And if you do decide to stick around, then I'll talk to you all again real soon. Thanks.